Right then, welcome back. United have drawn 1-1 with Arsenal at home at Old Trafford, much to probably everybody in the world's surprise, not least including my own surprise, because I didn't think that was going to happen. And trying to figure out, were they bad? Were we good? Was it a combination of the two? Realistically, United set up with quite a defensive shape, in all honesty. We very much let Arsenal have the ball, but in letting Arsenal have the ball, in giving up the possession, we kind of managed to maintain structure. And one of the things that we've not really had a lot of with Ruben Amorim is effective defensive structure, nor have we actually allowed the opposition to have a ball. Some of our better performances have been against the so-called bigger teams, the teams that we're probably not expected to go and beat. And we've actually taken the ball in times when I didn't expect we would take the ball. Like, we've had really good possession, Arsenal away, City, Liverpool. Like, we've actually gone and took the ball and put it on the opposition in a manner that I just really didn't expect us to have. You've just gone and seen United there put on a load of performances that actually I wasn't sure if we necessarily had in us. People starting the game, but you think, Casemiro and Eriksen, obviously the quality's there, but the energy's not there. Now, maybe in allowing Arsenal to have the ball, allowing them to sort of hold position, and Eriksen isn't a guy for playing in a low block at all, really, but and allowing them to sort of just have a certain set position and not really be expected to get on the ball. And the importance of this is that you're not transitioning constantly. You're running back, trying to get back into position all the time, because that's problematic when you've got players that are definitely at the tail end of their careers, definitely not at the peak of their physical powers, I think it's safe to say. But when you think, people can talk about Arsenal not having a recognised striker, cool, right? Manchester United are missing a lot from Martinez at the back, which is massive, to Dorgu, who's suspended and obviously is potentially a crucial way for how the manager wants us to set up, to Ahmad, who's been our best player this year, to Ugarte. Like, United are missing a fair bit in this, and we're shit anyway. So whether or not it's who's missing the most players in this, okay, granted, Arsenal have got a few injuries going on and people missing. But Manchester United are in an awful position in terms of the squad situation at the moment. And then even when you think about some of the players that have gone out on loan and just not been replaced, United's squad is in a terrible place. So I think that's a pretty good result, especially when you factor in the fact that we could have won that. We really, really could have won that. Still a massive over-reliance on Bruno Fernandes, continually one of the most disrespected players in Premier League history. People talking about his petulance and theatrics, and is he hard enough to be a captain and stoic enough to be a captain? He's just different. Here's the bottom line, right? If the likes of Roy Keane and that played with him, I can understand if you go, he's not the sort of captain I would want, right? I don't necessarily agree with you. I can understand your point though, right? Who though? If we take it at face value, okay, Bruno isn't captain material. Cool. Who is? Who in that squad is? Rashford? Really? Harry Maguire? Really? Who? Everybody else is brand new. Dalot? No. Who else in that squad if not Bruno? Now, one of the things for a captain should be seniority in terms of how many games he's played, right? Absolutely. It shouldn't. Captains being new players, I think, is a bit of a strange one. So if it's seniority, and they should also be one of your better players, you can't have your captain in and out of the team on form, and he has to be someone that's going to play week in, week out. So who in this squad has got the seniority in terms of games and the ability to go and win matches, and is even form aside, but who's even got that match-winning ability? No one, man. So I think when you go and look at the narrative I think that's the right word, right? The narrative around Bruno. I think it's wrong. Because time and time again, when he's relied upon to produce something, he produces it in the worst Manchester United side any of us have ever seen. Factually, right? If he was playing alongside Roy Keane, I think Keane would love him. Even though he had a real passionate rant about him last week, I really like that because it shows that Keane does still care about us. I think Roy would love him as a player. I think he doesn't like that he's the captain. But I don't think there's a drama with him being a Manchester United player in the slightest. Ronaldo was petulant. Ryan Giggs was fucking petulant, right? For anyone who remembers, Ryan Giggs used to throw his arms in the air all the time. He used to stand with his hands on his hips. And if the ball wasn't passed to Ryan Giggs' feet when he wanted it to feet, the amount of times he would just point at an imaginary ball on the floor, people forget, right? And Roy played with Ronaldo and Ryan Giggs and loved both of them. So I also think he would love Bruno Fernandes because I tell you what, he fucking digs out. And he dug us out again today. Obviously, Declan Rice has scored a fucking rocket, a slag. And I know he only came on towards the end. Not really. We had a few chances. Mazraoui should have scored, shouldn't he? We genuinely had the chances to win that game. I think Arsenal had a lot of chances, but I don't know how many were genuine, like, probably should have scored that, compared to the Mazraoui one and then the one at the end. And it was the other one as well when one of the defenders got pressed and Howson tried to take an extra touch. I kind of think, even though he wasn't on the pitch very long, the chances that he got, it kind of summed Howson up a little bit. Like, complaining about getting scraps, you're not even really getting clean shots off. You've got to get your shots off. You know, there's chances here that aren't going down as chances because you're not pulling the trigger. And then the ones that you do get to pull the trigger, they're not effective. You can change the narrative on what's going on with your Manchester United career by being effective coming off. Personally, I don't know if there's politics at play here or not, but I'd have thrown Obi on. I'd have thrown Chido on. And I'd have said, mate, that fan base hates you. Those players don't like you. Go fucking annoy the shit out of them by banging the winner in. And I think at the moment, who's going to score? Who's more likely to score for Manchester United? I feel like it's Chido, from what I've seen in recent games. But him or Howson, I think it's Chido. Aside from that, Heaven got, was it 45 minutes? I haven't heard if there's any dramas with Yoro, if it was just, Amorim loves the centre-half substitution, doesn't he? So I've not seen if there's any injury or anything. I had to watch the game on my phone. I missed the first 20 minutes. I've been doing a high rocks today. So I missed the first 20 minutes. I've had to watch the rest of the game on my phone. I thought Heaven didn't really get into the game and was a significant downgrade on Lenny Yoro. Did he get targeted? He wasn't. I mean, Lenny Yoro's a 60, 70 million pound centre-half, right? Whatever the fuck we paid for him, can't even remember. 50, 60, 70 million? I don't know. Talksport, 149 million pound centre-half. But Heaven was clearly not on that same level. Either way, I come away feeling like we could have done that there then. We could have done that there. Is Amorim's system better suited to playing in the big games? And maybe what he has to figure out is how to win those games we're expected to win? We will find out Thursday night, won't we? But we might see some wins this week. Leicester and Sociedad at home. After what we saw with Sociedad last week and what we saw today, a little bit more confidence. Oh, fucking win would have been so good, wouldn't it? A win would have been so good. We were just bouncing into Monday like fucking Vibes FC. No. Another game we didn't win. Anyway, take it easy. Give us your thoughts in the comments below. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.